Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clues.
Hello, and welcome to Coffee with Carib Carter. This is episode 47. Let's do this thing. Almost a year, which is very exciting. 5 more episodes, and we've had our 1 year anniversary. We'll have to do something celebratory for that. So we'll see what it is. Maybe I'll give something away, okay? A Coffee with Carib Carter birthday present to somebody who calls in, whatever. I will figure it out. I'll promise you, whatever it is, you'll love it. Okay. So, because we got to celebrate a year together. It's fantastic. Today's show is a celebration too, because, I have a great $1,000 listing Caribbean for you that actually has some videos for the first time. And we're going to get to that in a few minutes. We had a great interview. One that I was really looking forward to. I'd even, let me grab this. I'd even brought my Carib Carter hat. I was going to wear it because this is going to be one of the most fun interviews we've ever done. Okay. But unfortunately, at the last minute, she had to take a rain check, which hopefully will be next week. Okay. When the sun shines again, at least in the Caribbean, not up here in North Pennsylvania, but that's what we'll do. So we'll look forward to that interview next week. But a couple of housekeeping things. Remember to go to offshore.club and like it and share it with your friends. Okay. Don't forget to do that. Offshore.club, like it, share it. Let's boost this. Let's get the club numbers in. They're already at 100,000. My goal, quite frankly, is 1 million. Okay. I want us to have 1 million members, and I think we can do it. Look, if every one of you who's already a member just gets 10 people, each one reach 10, we're at 1 million, which is fantastic. And the more we have, the more we can do. Okay. The more we can do. Also, don't forget, go to visit, join, become a neighbor at the Offshore Club's Facebook group forum, Friendship Village. It is a great forum, folks. There's nothing else like it out there. It's the #1 offshore forum on the internet. Okay, where we discuss everything. There are not a lot of rules like you can't say this, you can't. No, you're there to give your opinion, ask your questions. If you already want somebody living offshore, an expat, share what life is like offshore. If you're someone who's in the consideration stage, thinking, I wonder if I want to do this. Yeah, that's the place to come and talk to people. Okay, Friendship Village, Facebook forum group, Offshore Club's Friendship Village. So there's some housekeeping for you. Follow me. There we go, Friendship Village. Follow me on Carib Carter, my Facebook page, also on LinkedIn, on Rumble. Okay. The bigger we get, the better it is, because then we can have a lot more services and benefits for you. Speaking of which, don't forget, come May, we have the first ever Offshore Summit, where we're going to have incredible speakers, incredible opportunities to mix and mingle with some of the people that you've already gotten to know at your offshore club. Some of the team members, Alyssa, expat mom, by the way, her podcast returns next week. Okay. Those of you who used to love it, I've gotten notes from people saying, where's expat mom? Elisa will be back next week. This week we added Leslie at Large. Great new podcast. Leslie at Large. Leslie lives in Nicaragua, but travels a lot. So every podcast she does is going to be where she is, what she's doing, and how much you would enjoy being there with her. Okay. And that's the key. Remember, your offshore club is all about lifestyle. We're not here to sell you anything. We tell you about a lot of properties, but we're not a real estate firm. I don't make money off any of the properties you buy. That's not the point. The point is to have a wonderful club where you learn about these properties and you make your choice and you negotiate it with whoever's selling it. Okay. And remember, negotiate. Okay. Like I told you a week before last, whatever they offer 10,000 or so less. When I bought my home at La Ceiba Beach Club, and I think they wanted 35 or 40, and I offered less, and they said, well, I'll lose, let's say $5,000. And I said, well, if you don't accept my offer, you'll lose 30,000. So that's a pretty simple game. That's it. Always negotiate. Always negotiate. So that's key. I was, in the with the Leslie Large is going to be showing you places. Super person. You're just going to love her. If you haven't seen her podcast yet, check it out. And there are two other podcasts I want to make sure that you check out. One is the and they're up every week at offshore.club. Plus, they're in your Offshore Club newsletter, okay? If you have not yet subscribed to the Offshore Club Gazette, it's your daily newsletter, which is free with capital FREE, free daily newsletter. Incredible articles and videos, information for you, very entertaining, very, absorbing, captivating. Make sure to subscribe for that. Offshore.club. The Offshore Club Gazette is just great. And the Offshore Club Gazette, you will receive in it the podcast that I've been telling you about, okay? Including one that was every Friday. Every Friday, you have Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report, okay? It's very important that you watch that, okay? Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report. I interview him every Friday. It lasts about 20 minutes, sometimes a little longer, because it's incredible information about investment opportunities offshore, okay? That's really key. That's really key. Look, Mike Cobb is not an offshore entrepreneur. He is the offshore entrepreneur. He probably owns more Caribbean property than any other investor out there. His first buy was, I think, I'm not sure whether it was his Belize property, which is Grand Bayman. Check that out. Gorgeous property. Has homes there available, which are just exquisite right on the beach. grandbayman.com, Bayman. I'm not sure that was his first, or whether Grand Pacifica was. Okay. 25 years ago, I'm talking. Grand Pacifica, that's without the D. GRAN Pacifica.com. It is the most exquisite residential resort in the entire Caribbean. Okay. And you can get homes there for 100 to 200,000, folks, which are going to pay for themselves many times over in years to come. Plus, you have cash flow because they have a rental program there. Okay. So check that out. Check that out. And both of these are what I call Mike Cobb communities. Here we go. Mike Cobb communities, which means that they're the best. There's no other way to say it. So every Friday, you have Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report, where he talks to you straight on about where the smart money is going in Central and South America. Look, this is advice from a master. They have these master class clubs all over the country now. Well, this is your own personal master class club that you're getting advice from someone who just is not saying, well, I think it might be a good idea. He's done it. He's done it. And he tells you exactly how, where to invest. One of the things we're going to be talking about, I think this Friday, is Bitcoin for this reason. We're an offshore club. We talk about offshore lifestyle and offshore homes, okay? So you might be saying, well, then why would you have an interview about Bitcoin? Because one of the Mike Cobb communities is in El Salvador, one of his newest, called El Zonte. El Zonte, better known as Bitcoin Beach. Everything is paid for, including the homes, with Bitcoin. And Mike is an expert on Bitcoin investments. That's coming up this Friday on Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report. Okay, so do not miss that. And by the way, those of you who get I send out a bunch of emails every week to members. Members only. Another reason to go to offshore.club and sign up. Once you subscribe to the free newsletter, then you'll get my emails too. And I sent a great email this past week on El Zante Bitcoin Beach. Okay. It contained a reprint of an article about it from Business Insider, which is excellent, fascinating. When you can buy everything and buy a cup of coffee with your Bitcoin, everything. Because as you know, they made Bitcoin legal tender in El Salvador. Very smart move. But Mike's going to give you the insights on that this Friday, just as every Friday. Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report is a must watch. You're getting advice from an expert, free advice from an expert. You can't beat that. And in addition, the other podcast that I want to really remind you about right now is on Thursdays at noon. Both of these are at noon, by the way, and both are in the Offshore Club Gazette, your free newsletter. On Thursdays, we have Joel Nagel's Global Wealth Fortress Report. Okay, now that's a big title, kind of a mouthful. You might say that's a little frightening. It's not frightening. Joel is the greatest guy in the world. He also happens to be America's #1 asset protection attorney. Okay. How important it is, how important, and now imagine this, folks. This guy, his clients are multi-millionaires worldwide. You get his advice free. As a matter of fact, if you go watch this last Thursdays, at the end of the show, I get some free advice myself. Okay. I think you're going to get a kick out of free advice from the #1 asset protection attorney in the country. It's a great report. Again, it's about 20 minutes or so, sometimes moves toward a half an hour, but I can guarantee you, you're going to find it captivating. Okay. Captivating. I interview him just like I interview Mike. Asking, here's the advantage you have when I interview him. I don't know nothing. Okay. It's just, I'm going to be asking the questions that those of us out there who don't know and need to know want asked. Okay. And that's the honest to goodness truth. When you talk about offshore investments, I mean, I own 2 homes in Honduras, as all of you know. And I'm going to buy another one in Nicaragua. I'm looking for beachfront. I just sent an email out about beachfront property, by the way, that if you go back offshore.club, look it up. The columns I write every week. It's in there. And so check that out because you need to one of the ways, let me back up. One of the ways to protect your assets is your offshore investments. And it's never been more important. Please, I did a Carib Carter post today early. I got up early and it's on, as I say, Rumble, Carib Carter Facebook page, LinkedIn, and at Friendship Village. It's always a Friendship Village. And I said, folks, do not believe for 1 minute this economy is good. Okay. It's kind of a mini Mad Max moment here. The retail numbers came out. Retail sales, retail prices, retail imports just rose 10.4%. That is disastrous. Disastrous. Remember, Presidents Bush 1 and 2, Clinton and Obama sent our manufacturing offshore. Okay. So now a 10% increase in the prices of the stuff coming here, that's going to hit you so hard because don't forget then the stores are going to add their tack up on it, delivery tack up. Horrible. And this is, we are, and that's at the same time when since last year, your wages have dropped 2.4%. Okay, it's all in I went into detail in the Carib Carter Minute. It was actually Carib Carter 4 Minute I posted today. So check that out. All of which gets us back to the point that Joel Nagel's Global Wealth Fortress Report, I have trouble remembering it sometimes, is a vitally important show every week that advises you on how to protect your assets. And you need to do that now. Okay. Get some of those assets offshore. I'm just telling you, and do it now. where they're going to be safer. Okay. So those two podcasts are vital. And then you're going to love the fact that the expat mom is back next week. Leslie at Large. We're going to be adding some new ones. I may start a new interview show myself with Central American celebrities. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm going to promise you I'm going to do that. Why? Because once you get to know the Central American celebrities, it's going to help you acclimate. It's going to help you realize these are great people, and I want to get to know them better, and I want to get to know those that they know better, their friends and neighbors, because their friends and neighbors, once you make your move, are going to be your friends and neighbors. Right now, I'm trying to get an interview that my good friend Giovanni's trying to line it up with Chocolatito. Okay. And what? Chocolatito is the greatest boxer in Honduran and Nicaraguan history. Okay. Greater than Alexis Aguayo. And those of you my age remember Aguayo was incredible. Chocolatito, I think, is like 50 victories, 40 by knockout. And a great guy, a very devout Christian family, a good guy. And I want to interview him because the more you get to know, Nicaraguans and Hondurans and Guatemalans and these Uruguayans, all these people, the more comfortable you're going to feel making your move. All of us have hangups, don't we, about the unknown? I've mentioned before, when I was a kid, my father was a Methodist minister. Back then, they moved every 5 to 7 years. And the idea of making a move, like when we moved from Hancock, Maryland, when I was a little kid, Hancock, Maryland had 1,500 people. And my dad said, we're moving to Baltimore City. And now you're talking now, Baltimore City was a nice city back then, by the way. This is 1960. Yes, I am that old. Somebody said the other day, did you have to serve in the Civil War, or were you able to get an exam? Like, not that old, but 1960, yeah. But Baltimore had 1 million people. The high school I was going to have to go to would had 6,000 students. So 3 times as many people in the high school as in the whole little town that we were moving from. And there was the fear of the unknown. My father said, they won't be unknown once we move there and you get to know them. And they weren't. And it was wonderful. And that's where I grew up from a little kid up until I went away to college. Well, you're going to find the same thing. Once you get to know these people, I'm going to interview sports figures, because I'm going to tell you something. I was the biggest baseball and football fan on the face of the earth up until 2 years ago. I'm just going to tell you point blank. I was never a basketball fan because I'm 5'10". And I had a magic shot that was called an air ball. I could never make a basket, so I was just never a basketball fan. But I was a huge baseball, and I was scouted by 4 different teams when I was a kid, major league teams, and football fan, until they started desecrating our flag and plastering Black Lives Matter all over every ballpark. And I decided, you know what, if you don't like me, I don't like you. But here's the point I'm making. Not that if you still love those guys, more power to you. I don't care. But here's the point I'm making. I am now a fan of Nicaraguan baseball. Okay. I just am. I follow Nicaraguan baseball. And, when you have a pitcher that throws 100 miles an hour, he's as good as anybody in the pros now. Okay. Let's face it. There are no Warren Spahns and Whitey Fords in major leagues anymore anyway. So it's just as exciting. It's just as much fun. And I promise you, I'm going to be interviewing these people, and you are going to get to know them, and you're going to love them, and you're going to find the transition to making your move offshore to the good life at a great price all the easier. Okay. That's my promise to you. I promise you that. Okay, so I'm going to start that. We'll do some interviews in Coffee with Carib Carter, but this is going to be a new interview show. I don't know what I'm going to call it. If any of you have suggestions, let me know. We're going to find a name for it that, Carter Hobnobbing with Celebrities, whatever we want to call it. But we'll do it, and I guarantee you, you're going to enjoy it. And speaking of Carter Hobnobbing, one of the hobnobbings that I do, as a lot of you know, is in Honduras because my wife is from there, and I brought a gorgeous property there. And that property, that the not my property because I'm not selling my property, but that neighborhood, that community is what we're going to feature today on $1,000 Listing Caribbean. Okay. I know this is one of your favorite parts of the show because I get your emails about it. Okay. And sometimes your text messages, because I scour Central and South America every week to find you properties anywhere from 30,000 to about 150,000. I don't want to go above that. Not that properties above that are not a great investment. I'm telling you, I believe you cannot lose now on a Caribbean property in Central or South America because the demand is skyrocketing. But I scour the internet and find properties for you, and that makes my segment, $1,000 Listing Caribbean, to me one of my favorites, and I know yours too. And today I'm going to share with you an opportunity for a property in La Ceiba Beach Club where I bought my property. So this is this new property has my Offshore Club good house hunting seal of approval. the good life at a great price. I am so terrible with graphics. You can tell I did it myself. I always have told people, if I can do it, it ain't art. Okay. So, but nonetheless, I found one for you. Okay. The one I found for you is at La Ceiba Beach Club, where I bought my home. Okay. Remember my home? And some of you are saying, Carter, we can't forget your home. You show it to us every show. Yes, I know I do. There we go. There we go. That's the home my wife and I bought, 6 months ago? Okay. 2-bedroom on the beach. Not near the beach, on the beach. There's my wife jogging in our front yard. I'm pausing so you can get the full effect there. That's my wife jogging in our front yard. Okay. I bought that home down there. First, I had advertised it. This is what's so funny. 8 months ago, I advertised it on Coffee with Carib Carter as $1,000 Listing Caribbean. And I liked it so much, I bought it. And so that's how I ended up with it. Here's the view out the back door. Okay. The pool, the clubhouse. Yeah. So today I talked to Chris Barrett. He's the developer, the owner of La Ceiba Beach Club. He's the developer. He actually had lived in the home that I bought. Okay. For, by the way, $32,000. I'm just going to tell you flat out. That home would be $300,000 at least in this country with its location and it's beautiful. I'm talking mahogany doors, mahogany cabinets, gorgeous. So I was talking to Chris, and he said, "Carter, I have some good news for Offshore Club members," because he's an Offshore Club member himself. He said, "I have a home almost exactly like yours that I'm putting on the market." Okay. Almost exactly like mine. And I think mine was 32, for 35,000. Okay. And okay, let me first of all, I told you I had some videos. Here's a video that Chris shot, sent it to me. So I said, send me some videos so I can show Offshore Club members. Here's a video of the exterior. You're going to like this. It's gorgeous. Let's roll it. Super producer Gary, let's roll it.
It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow right here. And the beach is right there. Clubhouse is over beyond this home over here. And here's the access road coming down to the project here.
Wow. Imagine walking around that yard, and it's your yard. Imagine walking around that yard and it's your yard. Those are your palm trees. Those are your flowers. That's your beach in front of the home that you could see off in the distance. Okay. Okay. That is home. And imagine having me as your neighbor. I hope that's a selling point. But I will be your neighbor, okay? Because my house is within walking distance, and that is almost like a twin home. Uh, the inside, is a special bonus because it's coming fully furnished, okay? Super producer Gary, roll the interior, folks. Wait till you see this.
It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow. Little kitchen area here. Little living room here. It's one of the bedrooms. Another bedroom right here. And the bathroom. This is steps from the beach, and the clubhouse is about 200 feet away.
Nice, huh? Nice. And totally furnished. Everything down to the, kit and caboodle, the kitchen sink, everything, the silverware. It's all there for you. The price, $35,000. $35,000. If you bought it in the U.S., I guarantee you that just like mine, it would be $300,000, $400,000. There's no doubt about it. Remember, same mahogany doors, cabinets, everything about it. This is not a deal. This is a steal. But you've got to get hold of Chris. You've got to get hold of Chris, and I would not wait. Remember what happened last time I ran a home like this? I bought it. So let me give you, I think I got Chris's. Yeah, I have Chris's phone number for you. You can call him directly. This is a great guy. He's a great guy. Chris's phone number is, write it down, 561-252-5176. 561-252-5176. Just call him Chris Barrett. Say, Chris, the Carib Carter told me to give you a call. I want that house and take it off the market. Get it off the market now. I want it done. We'll settle up and I'll be heading down and we can go fishing. Folks, there's live tuna you can catch offshore. I mean, that's how great the deep sea fishing is there. Okay, everything you could want. Your neighbors are fantastic. It's a great neighborhood. La Ceiba Beach Club, guarded, gated community. When my wife was down there, she used to call me from down there. She spent a couple of weeks not long ago, and she would say she's having her breakfast, some eggs that she just got from the farm right outside the gates, and milk for her cereal she just got from the farm right outside the gates. You can't get any fresher than that. And then she top it off with some fresh coconut milk from our own trees. Bananas, fresh. Oranges, fresh. Pretty good life. And, hopefully you'll move quickly enough so you'll soon hear what to me are the most exciting and endearing words in the English language. When will you be moving in? Seriously, you want to hear those words, trust me, especially with something like that. So that's your $1,000 listing Caribbean. And I urge you to make your move here, okay? And there's great videos. And go to the website, laseibabeachclub.com, laseibabeachclub.com. Ceiba is Ceiba, okay? laseibabeachclub.com. And check it all out. And you'll find other pictures of the community there. It's a lovely community. Everything is beachfront. And when I say beachfront, it's not like in the U.S. where they say, well, it's beachfront. And what they mean is beach view. If you have 10x binoculars or the Hubble telescope, okay? No. There we go. La Ceiba Beach Club is, you are on the water, okay? You are on the water. So I want you to make your move. And that brings me to the final segment of the show today, which is very unique this time. It's the Carib Carter Motivation Minute. It's very unique this time because it's not Jocko Willink or David Goggins or any of the other folks that I just love giving you the rah-rah motivation talk. It is a guy named Jerry Clower. Jerry Clower. Now, some of you who are a little older are already laughing Jerry Clower, for those of you who are younger, was the funniest country comedian in history. I had the sheer joy of making 3 infomercials with him back in my infomercial days. And honest to God, folks, he was a big old boy from Yazoo, Mississippi. Wonderful guy, became a very close friend. I remember one day, and he was just as funny. I swear to God, folks, he was as funny in person as he is in the video you're about to watch. I remember one day, back in those days, I wore a lot of bling for some reason. Like now I wear one ring. I used to wear several rings and gold chain around my neck. I don't know why I did. And one day he's a very devout Baptist Christian, deep water Baptist, he used to say. One day he said, Carter, you're wearing too much jewelry. Down where I come from in Yazoo, Mississippi, we call that a sign of worldliness. He was just hilarious, as you are about to see. What you're about to see is a motivation moment, okay? And when it's over, I'll tell you why it's a motivation moment. It's only about 4 minutes, but it's a great story about him going raccoon hunting, okay? Put it in perspective for you before we roll it. It's all about his friend John, who has to go up in the tree to shake down the raccoon, okay? Because they're raccoon hunting. And so John goes up in the tree, but unfortunately, it turns out it's not a raccoon, it's a bobcat. And so look, there's no use me telling you the story when Jerry Clower tells it so much better. So, Gary, let's roll it. Shoot that thing. Shoot that thing. One of us has got to have some relief. Well, folks, you might be saying, well, what does that have to do with motivating us to make our move offshore? Well, folks, the reason it does is there comes a time for your own good when you just got to pull the trigger. Okay. You got to pull the trigger. And just as Jerry told for his friend John, there comes a time when you got to shoot that thing, when you got to pull the trigger. And now is the time for you to pull the trigger, to make your move to the good life at a great price offshore, to the sun, the sand, and the surf. It's never going to become more timely because the prices right now are great. But as more and more Americans make that move, and they are, my email box has hundreds of inquiries every day. The prices are going to go up. So I want you as an Offshore Club member to get in early. Okay. So as I tell you every week, straight from the heart, folks, let's do this thing.